The Valley of Giants. The film opens with sweeping shots of a mythical ancient land torn by endless wars. Narration tells of the kingdom of Saul, losing faith and courage as enemies close in. In the shadows, the Philistines unveil their unstoppable champion, the giant Goliath, a towering warrior clad in black iron. Meanwhile, in the quiet hills, a shepherd boy named David sings to his sheep under the stars. He dreams of adventure, but feels unseen by the world. The shepherd's song. David tends his flock with care, using music to calm storms and animals alike. He's playful, fearless, and curious, but mocked by his older brothers for being just a boy. His best friend, a lamb named Korah, follows him everywhere. David often plays his lyre at sunset, dreaming of a life beyond the valley. A mysterious old traveler hears the song and says, "Your voice will shake kings one day." The Lion and the Lamb. One day, a lion attacks his flock. Terrified but determined, David uses his sling to protect Korah and the others. He strikes the lion in one miraculous shot, saving the lamb and proving his courage. Unbeknownst to him, Prophet Samuel witnesses the act from afar. He senses destiny in David's heart and marks him as chosen, anointed in secret. Samuel visits David's family, claiming he's sent by God to find Israel's next leader. To everyone's shock, the prophet chooses David, the youngest, smallest brother. He anoints him in secret, whispering, "You were born for something greater." The sky glows faintly as if blessing him. David's brothers grow jealous, and his father warns, "Keep your feet on the earth, even if heaven calls your name." Music for a broken king. King Saul suffers from dark moods and haunting visions. Samuel recommends a young musician to soothe him, David. David is summoned to the palace, amazed by its grandeur and fearful of the king's sadness. His music brings peace to Saul's mind for the first time in months. Saul grows fond of him, unaware that David is destined to take his throne. The giants challenge. News spreads. The Philistines demand war. Goliath taunts the Israelites daily, challenging them to send a single warrior to fight him. Saul's army trembles in fear. No one dares step forward. David, visiting to bring food to his brothers, hears the giants' mocking laughter. His heart burns with courage and faith. "No one should mock the living God," he says. Against all odds, David volunteers to fight Goliath. The soldiers laugh, thinking a joke. Saul hesitates, but David tells him about the lion and the lamb and how faith gives him strength. Saul lends him his heavy armor, but David can barely move. He removes it, saying, "I'll face him as I am." The 5 stones. Before the battle, David visits a quiet stream. He chooses 5 smooth stones, symbols of courage, wisdom, faith, love, and purpose. He whispers a prayer and places them in his pouch. Korah watches from a hill as David walks alone toward the battlefield. The wind shifts, as if the earth itself holds its breath. The duel of faith. The giant towers above him, mocking his size. "Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks?" Goliath roars. David's voice echoes, "You come with sword and spear, I come in the name of the Lord." He spins a sling, time slow into silence. The stone flies, striking true. Goliath falls, the ground shaking as if thunder applauds. Triumph and fear. The Israelites erupt in victory, cheering David's name. Saul praises him, but secretly fears a prophecy that another will take his crown. David becomes a hero overnight, yet he remains humble, returning to his flock. Children sing a song across villages. Faith can fell a giant, but jealousy begins to grow in Saul's heart. Shadows in the palace. David is brought permanently into the royal court. Saul's son Jonathan befriends him. A bond of loyalty and brotherhood forms. Saul's paranoia worsens, haunted by dreams of losing his kingdom. When a victory parade praises David's 10,000, Saul's jealousy explodes. He orders his guards to keep an eye on the shepherd who sings. The flight. Saul's madness peaks. He throws a spear at David during a feast. David escapes the palace, leaving behind his harp and friends. He flees into the wilderness, hunted by the king he once soothed. Korah the lamb follows, symbolizing his innocence and faith. Alone under the stars, David sings a broken song. "Even in shadows, I will not fear." The Cave of Echoes. Hiding in a vast mountain cave, David gathers a group of outcasts, wanderers, thieves, and dreamers. He leads them not with anger but compassion, becoming a symbol of hope. In the cave, he writes what will become his psalms, songs of courage and sorrow. Meanwhile, Saul's kingdom begins to crumble. Jonathan secretly aids David, promising, "When you rise, rise for the people," the test of mercy. One night, David finds Saul sleeping nearby. His men urge him to strike, to end the hunt. But David refuses, cutting only a piece of Saul's robe. He spares the king's life, showing mercy instead of vengeance. When Saul wakes, he weeps, realizing David's purity of heart. The fall of Saul. War returns to Israel. The Philistines march once more. Saul faces defeat and, overcome with guilt, falls upon his own sword. Jonathan dies heroically, protecting his soldiers to the end. David learns of their deaths and mourns deeply, composing the Song of the Fallen. His destiny, long delayed, now calls him home. The Shepherd King. David returns to the city, greeted by a people desperate for hope. He is crowned king of Israel, wearing a simple crown of gold and humility. His first act is rebuilding the ruined temple and freeing the poor from debt. He renames the kingdom Land of Promise. The same harp he once played for Saul now plays for a nation reborn. The temptation of power. Years pass, and peace turns to complacency. Power begins to whisper in David's ear, the same pride that doomed Saul. He faces choices between mercy and might, love and law. When a mistake brings tragedy to his family, David must face his flaws. He kneels once more before the sky, seeking forgiveness. The forgiveness, haunted by guilt, David visits the ruins of his childhood field. There, he hears the echoes of Samuel's prophecy that greatness lies in humility. He rebuilds his harp and sings the same melody from his youth. The clouds part and sunlight breaks through, symbolic forgiveness. Korah, now aged, rests beside him peacefully. The Song of Legacy. David teaches a young orphan boy about music, courage, and faith. He tells him, giants are not just made of stone and steel. Sometimes they live in our hearts. The boy asks what happened to Goliath's sword. David smiles. It hangs in the temple, not as a weapon, but a reminder that faith conquers fear. His final song echoes across the hills as dawn rises once more. The eternal sky. As the camera soars into the heavens, David's song continues, blending into a celestial choir. Stars form the shape of a sling and harp. Glowing above the land he united, the narration closes. He sang as a shepherd, ruled as a king, and lived as a man after God's own heart. Title fades in glowing gold. David. Tagline. Even the smallest voice can change the world.